My lords, breaking reports after breaking reports are getting dropped this afternoon. But my friends, it seems like the stories are getting worse and worse and worse. And after being absolutely up after capturing Caicedo and Lavia, we're getting hit with reality right now, as I'll be discussing the massive reports around Olise. I'll be talking Reece James, Ziyech, and Brennan Johnson of Nottingham Forest. So my friends, hit that like button, watch my massive video breaking down Lewis Hall, the Cobham debate and all that good stuff. Links provided below. Of course, you'll find provided links for our new home kit and goalkeeper kit that has now been released. So without wasting no more time, football is now well and truly back underway. And what better way to kickstart a new season than with £40 in free bets? That's right guys. Our friends at Parimatch UK are offering their new customers £40 in football free bets once you place your first £10 bet with them. Now to claim this offer is very simple. Simply create a Parimatch account and opt into the promotion. Once you do that, then place a £10 bet on any football market of odds or even above within 7 days of opening your account. Full terms and conditions apply, with full links provided below in the description. So thank you to Parimatch UK for sponsoring today's video. Now let's start with disappointing news surrounding Reece James, and as he was taken off due to fatigue in the debut game against Liverpool earlier this season, it is now being confirmed that Reece James now has picked up a hamstring injury. We are set to get official confirmation later this afternoon, but the report's already coming out there now, my friends, and it's actually disappointing news. Now, as we know, Reece James is out for 3 to 4 months with a very serious injury, and I guess as he was preparing in pre-season, a very demanding, physically demanding pre-season, is his body going to be 100% perfect? Most likely not. So after some scans now, it has been revealed that Reece James might have some small tears in his hamstring, and I think it's just best now to make sure this guy can fully recuperate, because he's our captain, one of our best players, and when he tends to play, we tend to win games. I guess some interesting debates and conversations, but could Reece James necessarily play as a right back throughout the entirety of his career? It's very demanding. It requires him to be very explosive, of going from box to box, up and down that field, constantly providing the overlapping option. You know, Pochettino plays a very demanding style of football. Could he eventually play as a midfield player as he progresses deeper into his career? These are some interesting observations and questions that we could have with ourselves, but right now this is an amazing opportunity for Malo Gusto, who really impressed us during pre-season, and it sums up why we have needed to sign someone as competition for Reece James now for like 3 years, because I don't think Reece will ever play 60 games plus a season, and I think right now it's best to have him maybe start most games, get subbed off for the final 20 minutes, use your competition right back, and rotate with intelligence and effectiveness over the course of a season. And now we discuss worse news, because our move to sign Michael Olise has now officially collapsed. Why is this deal now off? Now, as we've learned from reporter Ed Aarons, he reports that Crystal Palace have discussed taking us to a tribunal, of course, due to our approach to sign Michael Olise, essentially meaning that they're going to rat us out for tapping the player up. Now, chairman Steve Parish is said to be very unhappy about our conduct, and also understands that Olise's release clause contains a small sell-on clause for Crystal Palace, which probably means that they were also set to miss out on significant money. So, in the meantime, it has been revealed that Olise has signed a 4-year contract extension with Crystal Palace right now. It seems like the player has given his blessing, and we have ended our move because we don't want to get reported due to how we tried to sign the player. Now, I don't want to get too deep into discussing these like tapping up allegations, because I'm not going to lie, like in this game, yeah, it's one of those things that happens every single time, like for nearly every deal, but it's normally kept hush-hush. So my thinking is, what made Crystal Palace, of course, you know, threaten to report us? And I think it's quite obvious that after we were stalling in terms of accepting that Crystal Palace loan for Lewis Hall, now that we've allowed him to go to Newcastle, I imagine that Crystal Palace weren't happy, knowing the fact too that we were set to sign Olise, one of their key players of the season, by activating his very affordable release clause. So it does make a lot of sense behind why they feel very justified to move like this, because we have wasted their time after giving them an agreement, of course, to sign Lewis Hall on loan. It has been revealed though that Olise now has a new minimum release clause now in this contract. No idea how much the value could be, but I'd imagine that Olise won't be signing a new contract if there's like a stupid release clause past like 60 million. So I'm just going to guess between 45 to 55 million. That seems like fair value, because to sign Olise for like 35 million felt a bit like a bargain to begin with. Now, technically, is there any small hints and possibilities that we could activate this new release clause that's in his deal now by maybe slightly overpaying, as we tend to do to find an installment plan? I don't think that Crystal Palace would be too interested in negotiating with us based on those types of terms, unless we just match whatever this new minimum release clause is, which isn't going to happen anymore. Now, ideally in terms of replacements, because I'm a bit disappointed by this news. I really felt like signing that profile of winger that can play as a winger and an 8 is what Pochettino needs in the system. And right now, there's only two options I would feel maybe satisfied with us signing. That would be Cherki and of course Mohamed Kudus. Now, in terms of Cherki, it was reported that maybe Pochettino wasn't too inclined to want to have the player based on things like his, ability to defend off the ball and details like that. And I guess due to the youthfulness of the player. But it hasn't been the first time that we've signed players that Pochettino hasn't necessarily asked for, and you can't really complain by the quality that we're providing for our new manager. So could we potentially tempt Lyon into selling him? They do have financial difficulties and issues right now by making like late moves before the window closes. Fingers crossed, I think Cherki could be an absolute sensation. But it wouldn't surprise me too that you would wait to see how he progresses for one more season at Lyon, because if he absolutely cooks in Ligue 1, now that guys like Neymar and Messi are gone, he could then be worth that value for the following window. So let's see what happens. And obviously you guys know my feelings on Mohamed Kudus. I just think it's a no-brainer to sign him. Now, as we know, he is still currently holding positive talks with West Ham, but I kind of am hoping, and I guess that once West Ham finds a fee and agreement with Kudus, would it surprise me if Kudus and his agent maybe reveal the details towards us and then we came in to match the offer? Because it makes no sense to negotiate alongside West Ham, because the price will just keep rising and rising and rising, and we don't need to do that right now. Obviously, we had agreed unofficial personal terms with Kudus, and as I said before, we are still monitoring the situation behind the scenes. I think right now he's the absolute no-brainer because he has the experience of playing across Europe. By far Ajax's best player, one of the top young players in his position in Europe, and in terms of profile, dribbling, goal threat, creativity, positional flexibility across the attacking zones. I hope we make the move to sign him, because I'm annoyed that we've missed out on Olise, and the only guy up to the same level is signing Kudus. So my friends, this is the Olise news out the way first. Let's see how things progress. But now we discuss more breaking news this afternoon. And right now, multiple big publications like The Times, The Guardian, The Mail, plus many more are reporting the fact that one target now we are inquiring for is Brennan Johnson of Nottingham Forest. Reports say that we have held initial talks with Forest to try and sign Brennan Johnson. Now, there's interest from also Spurs and West Ham. Earlier this summer, Brentford had a 40 million bid turned down because Nottingham Forest are looking for around 50 million. But reports do say that we could hope to possibly include players as part of a player swap to bring the value down. And there were some rumours circulating that Nottingham Forest are trying to sign Trevor Chalobah from us. I hope for Chalobah's sake that he gets this international move, because going to Forest, you don't go as a club side that, because there's a massive possibility they get relegated and your career looks kind of mid afterwards. But regardless, Brennan Johnson scored 8 goals in his first Premier League season. And my friends, I just want to give my thoughts and opinions right now. Huh? Are you being serious? Brennan Johnson. I thought we let guys like Werner and the man go because, they're a bit one-dimensional in their game. And I felt we were going for that profile that could also play in midfield and out wide at times. Johnson is purely one-dimensional counter-attack. Now, does this heavily imply that 4-3-3 is the way to go? And we are going to rely upon having goal-scoring inside forwards like Mudryk, Johnson, of course, competing alongside Madueke with Jackson up front. Potentially, but part of me even feels, man, I'd rather just keep guys like even flipping Ziyech, which ain't going to happen. Now, even Hudson-Odoi, to overspend for a Brennan Johnson where he's got talent, of course, but my lord, if you have ambitions to win the title, he is not that guy. I mean, how many big chances has he missed for Nottingham Forest, and knowing the expectations when you go up a level playing for clubs like us, but you can't be that wasteful. Look how we treated better players than him that have now left us. I just don't know if he's fully ready for that type of responsibility right now, especially for these types of valuations and prices. I think there's better options on the market, and if they're not, wait until January or wait until next summer and let Ian Maatsen get those minutes and get that game time. It's common sense to me. Like, going back to the first video I dropped today around Lewis Hall, can you see why, when you don't give opportunities to your academy guys, why it can be an issue if you're going to, fill squad positions with expensive buys where probably, potentially maybe, they might not work out. And I don't know how long Johnson's shelf life would be if he signed for us, knowing that we got guys like Njolo. Like, imagine we could have just kept this youth instead, man. Instead of letting him go and he has all that talent to sign someone who I don't think has much talent as Angelo Gabriel for like, what, triple the money. I'm a bit worried by that, and I don't really like it, to be fair with you. I just don't understand the desperation to have to make a move if you're not going to get your top options, because one thing that this board has communicated is that we only go for our top options. I'd like to think there's some like tactical strategy stuff going on behind the scenes. You know how things can get with this club sometimes, but I just don't think Brennan Johnson is of the quality that we should be targeting, especially when you're investing millions on young talents that you're giving to network clubs and then signing guys like this to block their pathways when, I just don't think they're as good. I think after one season cooking for Strasbourg, Angelo could be ready for next season, and what? We're going to keep creating all these unnecessary wheelings and dealings in the market. Like, my opinion, man, don't even sign no one. If you can't get Olise, if you're potentially not going to go for Kudus, wait until January maybe, or just wait until next summer and use what you have, because sometimes you have to do that in football. You can't just spend your way to success every single time. So that's the Johnson story out the way, my friends. Share your thoughts and opinions on this one. And we end things very quickly by discussing the latest news surrounding Hakim Ziyech. Now, Ziyech was getting some grief on social media because some rumours came out from a Dutch TV show suggesting that he failed another medical. Now, we still don't have the full clarification behind his medical failure, of course, with Al Nassr earlier this summer. Could they have just made up an excuse to not commit to signing him because they've signed probably better replacements over Hakim Ziyech, right? Obviously, right now, Hakim Ziyech is set to move to Galatasaray, and it's looking like this could be on a free deal at this point in time. Obviously, getting him off the wage bill is key, but I have to say it's a very sorry end to Ziyech's career with us, a guy that you guys know I fully rated. But, to have moves to Paris Saint-Germain just turned down, just like killing your career, and then like big money move to Saudi Arabia turned down as well too. It's just not ideal for him at all. I guess the Turkish league, you're going to live a nice life if you're a millionaire, yeah? Beautiful countries, scenery. If I was a millionaire, I'd happily love living my life in Turkey, yeah? But in terms of the football, it's not the best league, is it? And I feel like it's kind of got a lot weaker now. And I just kind of feel like you're only going there because it's your only options at this point in time. And for all the money we could have commanded from your Milans back in the day and all these other clubs that expressed and showed interest, I just feel like we've handled Ziyech so terribly in terms of outpricing him when we didn't have to, not finalising moves quickly enough, and I guess not monitoring his health to make sure that this guy is even ready, of course, to make these moves without medicals failing. And I think we pay the price financially for our misuse of Ziyech, and, to be fair, it kind of just really beautifully summarises his time at Chelsea, where, my lord, we wasted this guy, man. I feel like it's one of the biggest disappointments for me personally after seeing what the guy was, a completely different player for Ajax and the Champions League and all of that. And yeah, a victim of this football club, in my opinion. So good luck to Ziyech, I guess. My friends, on that note, I'm going to wrap things up, keep things moving. There's going to be more videos, I guess, coming out later today because some of these stories are getting absolutely crazy and mad, yeah. But I need to go get my hair cut right now. So I need to get my hair cut right now, and tomorrow I do have my nan's funeral tomorrow. So, I'm going to see if I can make something today to have something ready for tomorrow. But tomorrow I might not have any content out, you know what I mean? So I just need to have a day to myself and come back for Saturday, of course, with the West Ham preview. So my friends, I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lines TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.